24 Driving Business.
Yes, very good morning and welcome to Smart Means Business. It is exactly 29 minutes, that is to the top of the hour, that is of 8 a.m. And there is a lot of stories that are happening locally. And of course, what has been, trending all over the death of Aga Khan. And of course, at this point in time, let me head straight as we take a look at what's headlining into the press. And of course, I do have the New Vision and the Daily Monitor. Now, let me kickstart off with the Daily Monitor. Now, His Highness, the Aga Khan, a lifetime of service. Of course, they have written about his achievements, what he actually, accomplishments during his lifetime service. And of course, he was the 49th hereditary Imam of the Shia Ismaili, that is Muslims, and has left a mark on earth, an incredible mark on earth with of course, he ignited a beacon of hope with the darkest corners of the world, illuminating the path of education in that way. And of course, the world leaders mourn the man who defined humanity. There is quite a lot that has been written about him. But of course, may him rest in peace. And then, of course, as we proceed along in the comment section, we'll take a look at the president right on contaminated Guinness. Somebody has come to write something in relation to that. And then embassy vandalization taints DRC Congo's image. Recently, when the strikes really happened, and one of the embassies that were largely affected was the Ugandan embassy. And majority say this has actually portrayed a negative image for DRC. And then proceeding along, somebody here says that her next skilled talent from United States deportations, those that will be brought back in the country can actually be utilized into other sectors because of the skills. That's what somebody's actually saying. It's just somebody's opinion. It's not my opinion. And then the letter of the day, digital number plate initiative. Of course, a game changer or another costly mistake. I know that is the big question still here. And somebody here says, Dear Trump, the world needs both people and the planet. So there is a lot of details that is actually put in here. And of course, now when we get into the motor space, diesel, petrol, hybrid, or electric vehicle cars, there is a big discussion in here. Of course, they say with petrol, diesel, hybrid, and electric engines, all offering unique benefits. Picking up the right one depends definitely on your driving needs, budget, and efficiency goals, definitely. So they help you here to make the best choice, diesel, petrol, or EV. Of course, in some of the countries like China, they are doing whatever it takes to get rid of the diesel cars, the petrol cars, due to, the climate change related initiatives. Okay, now proceeding along here, there is tips on how you can keep your car in good condition for a long time, and it can help you to prevent the massive, the unnecessary expenditures that you're likely to make at the end of the day. Okay, now proceeding along still, let me see. Okay. Now, the Bank of Uganda haste has been written out here. Now, the police search homes of key suspects. Now, among those whose homes were searched in is Mr. Lawrence Semakula, that is the Accountant General at the Ministry of Finance. Very upsetting incident that happened in there on September 10th. That was last year. About 6.1, that is $6.1 million. That is about 22 billion Ugandan shillings, which was meant for the payment to the World Bank. To the World Bank's International Development Association was actually rerouted to the bank account to a private company, Roadway. That is in Tokyo. So there is a lot of details that has been written about this. And then a former Cairo bank staff found guilty, that is in a 200 million Ugandan shilling loan scam. Now, the prosecution started at Kisoro and Nasuna while in Kampala Central in September 2016, forged a document with powers of the Attorney General, allegedly given at Kisoro by Semugoma Babidi and, of course, some other culprits. Then in the regional news, Acholi Chief Dom seeks to ban widow inheritance. We see that the cultural institution officials say the practice is contributing to the spread of HIV and AIDS. Could this be the fears, the fact that you said the funding has been put on hold for some time, and well, we shall be seeing. And then the NFA moves to cancel, that is General Kayanja's land title in a forest reserve. Okay, according to the NFA records, Masaka district is endowed with 34,882 hectares. That is a forest cover, but available statistics from the district forestry office indicate that 30% of gazetted forest reserves have actually been degraded by the cultivators. So the National Forest Authority has come out to give a report regarding that. And then leaders' decree posted of Bundibuja Hospital. Now, the leaders say that the health facility, which was constructed in 1969, has not had a facelift since then. You know, that's according to their observation. And then from the foreign news, we take a look at Trump's Gaza plan triggers international condemnation. Now, Donald Trump said he envisioned building a resort in Gaza where international communities could actually live in harmony. All right. And Sweden mourns victims of country's deadliest gun attack. Gun violence back in there. And I guess now, as we head into the sports side, Kampala Queens cushion lead over the rivals. Of course, the bottom sides, interestingly, Wakiso had just 5 points, and as they do now at half point last season, but they lost only twice in the second round to fend off the relegation with about 20 points from 18 matches. That is according to what Coach Rogers Nkugwa, who had led that feat, has since, of course, been fired. Okay. And of course, Mugera blames team selection for the She-Crane losses. That is what he says. And the Dice Lounge triumph keeps duo hungry. You know, we're seeing all that. And the KHC Swans feel impact at absence at Africa Cup. Now, on a positive note, though, Richard Kaijuka, who went the tournament as an umpire, was actually involved in the men's game between the Western Jaguars and Shakir, which the Kenyans lost 5-0, plus the women's game between Delta and Shakir, still as we see. Okay, and of course, as we wind this up, we'll take a look at Aga Khan and his love for horse racing. Yeah, of course, he's one of a golden age of the owner breeders. You know, he was a big fan of the horse races. And now switching over to the new vision, of course, a new education report suggests that PLE should be scrapped off. Now, the report handed over to the minister proposes restructuring the sector. Okay, and then 60 billion Ugandan shilling suspects going to hiding. And Museveni urges security agencies to prioritize stability. Okay, now proceeding along, Orthodox Pope to visit Uganda next week. That is part of anticipations. And then Museveni to security, of course, who said prioritize stability. Major General Tafiri condemned the past instances where some security officers misused their positions to express the public to oppress the public instead of protecting them. You know, he says stability is a very crucial. And then the First Lady receives Education Policy Review Report. Now, when you read between the lines, Mrs. Museveni said that after receiving and reading the report, a team will be constituted to study and analyze the recommendations being proposed. And so all that we await of it. And then Education Review Commission proposes scrapping of the primary leaving examinations. Then in other stories, panic as police search finance officials' homes. Now, a call recommended that finance ministry immediately deactivates email accounts of staff who had exited the ministry and strengthen the security of its network. So we're seeing there is a huge search over. And then FDC fronts, that is Aganaga for Kawempe North Sea. Okay, let's wait and see how that will be really playing out. Now, Electoral Commission boss, that is Justice Simon Biabakama, say that the process of filing vacancies of the Kawempe North MP and Kazo Award Councillor started with the voter registration and identification. That was yesterday and will end on Friday. Definitely. So let's wait and see what exactly will be the outcome. And then Titan Aga Khan folds, but his legacy rose across the sectors. Of course, a lot has been written about him. Okay, and of course here they tell us why NRA treasures Kabamba. Of course, taking a look at the liberation aspects, and then into the comment section. The 44th Tarehe Sita is a testament to sacrifice and progress at the same time. This is what somebody here says, and I guess he's very right about that. And then there is a discussion about the DRC conflict, and the big question here is the federal system that solution? Is the federal system the solution to that? There is a lot that has also been written about that. And then celebrating the Pan-African solidarity and the people's struggle for freedom and socio-economic transformation. As Major General Felix Kulaije has come out to have a word on that. And then why sustainable wetland management is our shared responsibility. Someone has actually come out to also ponder on to that. And victory over corruption is victory over socio-economic transformation. Still, somebody says, this is Brigadier General Henry Isoke. He says victory over corruption is victory over socio-economic transformation. Okay, of course, somewhere he said that Uganda is now a country that is not only at peace, but one that exports peace in the region, a country with one of the lowest inflation rates in the world. That is at 3%. That is according to WOBOS. The WOBOS reports. That's what they say in regards to that. And then another report here says that less than 1 million Ugandans are insured. Now, the census statistics found that 1.1% of the population had health insurance coverage. Now, we know very well that the insurance penetration rate slightly increased. That is from 0.86% in 2022 to 0.88%. That is in 2023. Although the growth was actually minimal, Ernest Magezi, that Abusuria, an actual expert and CEO, said that he remains optimistic about the industry's future. We're talking about the insurance industry. Now, the market is improving as people are appreciating the insurance more. But of course, you say that they expect more premiums to be paid. He also noted on that. However, he also emphasized the need for continuous innovation and honoring claims process to sustain this growth. He said insurance is fundamentally about sound underwriting and pricing principles. That is what he said in relation to that. And then there is a story here: can the Boda Union change the face of the industry? Now, we know that the union has actually introduced a cooperative model that encourages riders to pool resources, and then they contribute to the savings in the credit scheme and benefit from the financial loans to purchase low-cost leased motorcycles, or invest in other business ventures. So there is a lot that is also being said about that. Okay. Then, still in the business vision, we see how well do you know your competition? You know, you're in the business, but how do you know your competition? Somebody has actually come to give us the information. You can actually grab yourself a copy of the New Vision and to find out the further details. Of course, they say keep your friends close and your enemies closer. He's saying is attributed to the, of course, they're talking all about how well do you know about your competition. He was trying to make an introduction of that report. So as an entrepreneur who wants to be influential and quite outstanding, it's quite important that you grab yourself a copy to find the details of these particular reports. Okay. Then as we proceed along, ministry uncovers fake special needs beneficiaries. Now, the education ministry has uncovered dishonest learners who disguise as persons with disabilities with the intention of benefiting from the government funding. A ministry official has actually revealed, Michael Wanyama, that is the executive director of the Higher Education Students Financing Secretariat, that is at the Education Ministry, revealed that a verification process has discovered that many fraudsters who position themselves as learners with disabilities were actually not. They were pretending and they wanted to benefit to have the benefits from the government available programs. That's what he says. He says in relation to that. Okay. Then from the court side, Magara murder suspect's first targeted mother, says the witness. Now the suspect said the financial constraints led them into the scheme. They didn't have the money, so they found themselves at a place where they have to actually do what they did. Now, the police officer, of course, said Lubega informed him that they first targeted Immaculate along Entebbe Road, but failed because of the slow traffic. So there is a lot that has been discussed in regarding that case. And then advocates sued over alleged fraudulent conduct. We can see that. And then proceeding along, a bishop that is on Weng has been commended for burying in the womb. This is coming in from Gulu. We are into the regional news. Of course, here we see when Archbishop Lomo died, Bishop Onweng was actually 31 years of age, and now he's set for burial. And then court rules in favor of Lango chief-elect. This is in Lira. Now, the justice found that the orders issued by the court were indeed executable and therefore subject to a stay. Now, he said that the applicants had raised substantial legal questions warranting appellate review. Now, the judge recognized that Odongo had taken irreversible steps, such as resigning from his job and vacating his previous culture position, making the potential loss irreparable. That is what they say, according to the reports. Now, from Chikube's side, Chikube School gets PLE first grade after 33 years. A lot has been written about that. That is a milestone for them, we shall say. And then now switching over to the international news, at least 900 people have been killed and more than 2,800 have been injured. Now, of course, we were in Goma here. Goma, which fell to the M23 fighters and the Rwandan military last week, has actually become a symbol of the conflict that has ripped apart the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo over 3 decades. Now, in early January, a push to the capital of the North Kivu province, where thousands of the UN and humanitarian workers were based, was actually seen as unlikely. But of course, worrying signs soon emerged as clashes intensified in the surrounding region. Of course, they say that first M23 fighters and Rwandan soldiers took Minova, a port on Lake Kivu, to the southwest, tightening the nose around Goma, which is actually the home of about 1 million people and nearly as many displaced by the fighting. Okay, now, of course, there is a huge fight for DRC's Goma, and a lot has been, of course, talked about, and I can also see a report here, a new dawn offensive by the M23 militia and the Rwandan forces in eastern DRC Congo shows that it's unilaterally declared a ceasefire. They say it's a ploy. That is according to what the Congolese government said yesterday. But let's wait and see what that will entail and what are the events in Congo going to dictate how the activities in East Africa will be like for 2025. And then youth endorse Museveni Kadaga to NRM top jobs. Now the AYC chairperson Rogers Kalama called on the NRM on a ring fence the chairmanship and female vice chairperson positions from Museveni and Kadaga right there. Okay, and then still here they tell you have time to get the right gift. No, of course, depending on your socioeconomic status, you may consider flying for the first time, or a yacht trip, or buying a car, plot of land, or a house. That's what they say. And then from the sports side, Chigezi makes 6 entries. As we see, Saints stand out. Then another story is 44 say to compete in the final. That is seeing the bike racing. And then somebody here says that Kiplimo should expect a tough race as he defends his title in Tororo. That's what they say. And then the PAU rolls out a 1.8 billion shilling budget. What is entailed in the budget, of course, grab yourself a copy of the New Vision. This is the Pool Association of Uganda has released the budget of 1.8 billion Ugandan shillings to run through the 2025 calendar year activities. So grab yourself a copy of the New Vision to find out the further details. And then they say, somebody here says that expect another roller coaster and to the season. Okay, this is Aldrin Subuga, one of the renowned sports journalists in this country. And then finally, the She Cranes fight amidst the problems. What are those problems? It's all detailed as you grab yourself a copy of the New Vision. All right, that is it for the praise brief. For now, let's go for the break. And when I return, shall take a look at what's happening across East Africa and beyond the borders of East Africa. Stick around.
Smart 24, driving business.
3 inspired souls brought together by love are set on a life-changing journey.
This is your life, Mackenzie. This is no longer a dream.
It's just something about Mackenzie.
I'll never marry you.
Your position does not allow you to break work relationship rules.
Where choices change everything. Crossroads, weekdays at 8 p.m. on Power Magic Prime. DSTV channel 148, GoTV channel 303.
Tuli mu January na ye don't worry kuwanga chiri super duper. Nestan big salary loni, you are never left alone. Over school fees, over home alone, over you are just a yala. There's no other bank that can give you a loan that is better. 16% interest, 96 month repayment, 350 million in amounting. Kugambye super duper, chiri super duper, Nestan big is super duper. Chiri super duper, Nestan big bank super duper.
Chiri Super Duper with the Stanbic salary loan. Enjoy interest rates as low as 16% per annum, which is 1.34% per month, with a repayment period of a full 96 months, which means smaller repayment installments among other benefits. For more information, contact us on 0800 150 150.
Smoking oil like no other makes your meal so sweet and scrumptious. Hey, the taste of Uganda. Yeah, the taste of Uganda. Fortune family, the taste of Uganda.
Are you a woman entrepreneur or woman owning a business and looking for affordable financing to scale up your business? Look no further than the Grow Loan. Grow Loan targets female entrepreneurs nationwide. Key features include a minimum loan amount of 4 million and a maximum loan amount of 200 million shillings, a maximum interest rate not exceeding 10.5% per annum, a loan repayment period not exceeding 24 months. All Grow Loan borrowers must comply with the Grow Project environmental and social standards. Special incentives are available for borrowers that are refugees or from the refugee host communities, people living with disabilities, and women entrepreneurs from the underserved or minority groups. To apply, contact any of the 6 participating financial institutions. Contact us for more information or visit our website at www.grow.go.ug. The Grow Loan is an intervention under the Grow Project, a Government of Uganda project financed by the World Bank and implemented by the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development and the Private Sector Foundation Uganda. Grow, generating growth opportunities and productivity for women enterprises.
You used to tell me that I don't make you happy. All that time you would be complaining. I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Blue magic is my joy. Ono blue magic, wange. Ayo, talaba kumabala, atukuza nonyirira okirako enyange. Tayisa bubi fabriki, kyonna kyekiri kigwa lwa blue magic is my choice. Ono blue magic, ye wange. And the blue magic is my choice. Hey, ono blue magic, ye wange. Yo, yeah.
Smart 24, driving business.
Well, now, as we start off with our Caribbean East Africa, Kenya eyes local finances for public-private partnerships. It's according to the reports. Now, the government has appointed over 30 experts from Kenya's financial sector to create a roadmap for mobilization, that is for the long-term local financing for strategic state projects. Now, the committee chaired by, that is Dr. Hosea Kelly, and deputized, that is by Mulwa, both from the Association of Pension Trustees and Administrators of the Kenya, will actually review appropriate private partnership deal structures that will attract the local investors. Now, other key members of the committee include CEO of the Nairobi Securities Exchange, that is Frank Mwiti. We have Josephine from the Capital Markets Authority. We have Ronald Nyomasi from the National Social Security Fund, and representatives from the energy sector, infrastructure entities, banking, and the fund managers. Now, the growing need for enhanced infrastructure that is coupled with fiscal pressure has prompted the government to explore the public-private partnership as an alternative to debt funding. Now, in a letter signed by the Principal Secretary, that is in the National Treasury, that is Chris Kipto, Treasury, he said that the committee will also review regulatory barriers that is to local investment in the private-public partnerships, and gauge institutional capacity and the local finance space in adequately funding local investment. Now, the country is targeting about 150 billion in public-private partnerships this year, mostly in the transport sector and energy projects. That is according to the 2025 draft budget policy statement. Now, of course, the report further says that the scale of financing for the public infrastructure projects has seen more foreign entities seizing the opportunities with the government tied down to expensive and often controversial deals as a result. Now, last year, the government sought to refurbish the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport and construct new power lines for electricity transmission. Now, to facilitate these projects, the state considered proposals that is from subsidiaries of the Indian-based Adani Group. That was after months of uproar over the details of the deals and the incidents of the conglomerate's founder in the United States for bribery. The government cancelled the deals and went back to the drawing board. Now, the secretive nature of the private-public partnerships has also rose at the legal concerns, although the government insists that the public participation could actually delay crucial projects. Pundits urge that allocating strategic infrastructure that is to questionable firms could actually expose the country to what we call the unseen risks. Now, opening up a local financial markets to greater participation could actually receive greater acceptability and support from the citizenry, as well as save the country from what we call the debt reliancy and bad deals. Now, it also carries risks of inflated costs, talking about potential conflicts of interest and also political exposure and corruption. So Kenya is undertaking that, trying to look into ways to have reforms in the public-private partnerships. So the country is eyeing local financiers to come into space. But what does that really mean? Do they have the capability to actually execute that particular objective? Well, let's wait and see what the developing stories will be like. Now, away from that, still, Fitch Ratings. Still in Kenya, in other stories, Fitch Ratings affirms Kenya at B with a stable outlook. Now the global credit ratings agency, that is Fitch Ratings, has maintained Kenya's sovereign rating at B with a stable outlook, citing solid growth prospects and a stronger monetary policy. However, the rating remains a bit constrained, we shall say, by the high debt costs, the weak governance, and the large informal sector that limits the government revenue collection. But of course, despite the increased efforts to narrow the budget deficit, Kenya continues to face high external debt levels and fiscal consolidation challenges, if you to have a consideration that way. Now, last week, the rival ratings agency, that is Moody's, revised Kenya's outlook to positive from negative, assigning a potential ease in liquidity risks and improving debt affordability over time, while the S&P Global will actually give the ratings report on 21st of February 2025. Now, according to what the Fitch report really noted was that the stable outlook reflects Fitch's expectations that continued strong official credit support will actually help alleviate near-term external liquidity pressures, although the sovereign funding needs will remain large and are expected to raise, Fitch noted in a report. Now, the ratings agency downgraded Kenya's ranking from B to B in August 2024, the first such change since the previous downgrade from a B plus to a B. That is, we're talking about June 2022. Now, the lapse of the 3.6 billion Ugandan shillings billion IMF program in April 2025, Fitch now says introduces uncertainty over subsequent financing flows. Now, Fitch anticipates that negotiations will actually lead to new funding arrangement, but the timeline is quite uncertain, and the ratings agency also added to that, most especially on the time period. Now, the American ratings firm anticipates a widening of a fiscal deficit that is to about 4.8% of GDP in the financial year 2025. We're talking about 1.5 percentage points higher than the government's initial budget target and 0.4 percentage points above its revised target. Now, sovereign funding needs are expected to rise, with Fitch expecting what we call a continued strong official creditor support to help ease the near-term external liquidity pressures. Now, the February 2004 Eurobond issuance and a buyback of about 1.4 billion of a 2 billion euro bond that was set to mature, that is on 24th June 2024, helped to ease liquidity pressures. Now, the stronger currency supported by the strong disbursements also and the remittances moderated the external debt servicing burden, given that 55% that is of Kenya's debt is foreign currency dominated, and actually that has been quite a huge challenge for so many African countries, having debt, away from a scenario when you can borrow internally with the local currency. But now, majority of the African countries, the dates are definitely in dollars. And that means if we are to adjust for inflation over a long period of time before these loans are actually paid, you find that the countries actually have to pay a lot of money to make it through. Okay, now further, Fitch expects a revenue shortfalls owing to the consistent underperformance and gaps in the public financial management. That's what they say. And we take a look at the EBI rating, which is highly speculative, which means that there is a limited margin of safety, but material default risks due to any significant deterioration in the business and economic environment. They definitely remain. And well, that is it for Caribbean East Africa. And now switching, taking a look at what is making headlines across the global scale. China challenges Trump tariffs as discriminatory. Now, China has accused the United States of making unfounded and false allegations about its role in fentanyl trade, that is to justify tariffs on the Chinese products. Now, the complaint was lodged with the World Trade Organization one day after United States President Donald Trump raised the border taxes on the Chinese goods, that is by about 10%, a measure he said was actually intended to address an influx of illegal drugs. Now, on the filing, China said the measures were discriminatory and protectionist and violated the trade rules. That is what China said. But experts have warned that China is unlikely to secure a ruling in its favor, as the panel that settles trade disputes remains unable to function. Now, the former WTO, the World Trade Organization official, told the BBC that it has no possibility of succeeding, Now, the dispute comes as Trump's plans for tariffs, a tax he has said he wants to see imposed on all foreign shipments into the country, are causing uncertainty across the global trade landscape. Now, Donald Trump said the tariffs will actually encourage the firms to sell their products in the United States, repeatedly expressing concern about the size of America's trade deficit. But his actions, that is against China, which he has threatened to widen to include Canada, Mexico, and Europe, have sparked concerns about their impact on the global economy. That is including the United States, the U.S. as a business respond to trade uncertainty by holding off on investments, all pass and new costs when it comes to the customers. Now, ShareTax, that is a Canadian tights maker, on Wednesday announced that it was temporarily laying off 40% of nearly 350 workers citing to the tariff questions. Now, the United States imports the imports of the United States hit their highest on record in December as businesses responded to the threats on tariffs, racing to secure foreign-made toys, talking about mobile phones and computers at the same time. Now, the value of goods brought into the United States jumped about 4%. From November to about $293 billion. Now, $1 billion at the highest since the records began in the 1992, the Commerce Department said on Wednesday. Now, the rise also contributed to the wide trade deficit gap between exports and imports in nearly 2 years. Now, the tariffs also provoked a political tension, including a relationship with China, which responded to Trump's move for the tariffs on the United States on the U.S. goods as an anti-monopoly probe of Google, among other measures. Now, the speed with which China filed its complaint, that is with the World Trade Organization, is an indication of Beijing's readiness for the trade fight. So Beijing is actually ready for this fight, in other words. Now, on Wednesday, Bloomberg also reported that the country's anti-monopoly regulator was actually preparing a possible investigation into Apple's policies and the Apple Store fees hitting the company's shares. Now, Trump's moves, which included ordering the end of the duty-free treatment for the parcels worth less than $800 million, will actually be a major shock to some firms such as Shein and Temu as they erode the ability that is to offer low prices. This said, that is Mark Williams, chief China economist, that is at the Capital Economics. Now, he said that he thought for China overall, this according to what the report actually clearly indicates, but he said he thought for China overall that effects of Trump's tariffs would actually not be too damaging. You know, that is the senior economist that is at Capital Economist was trying to give his opinion in relationship to the Trump tariffs. Now, the World Trade Organization procedures give the United States and China 90 days to resolve their dispute, their consultations, at which point China has the right to request adjudication by the panel to the judges. But the final WTO panel that settles trade disputes, now known as the appellate body, remains unable to function as the United States refuses to approve the appointment of the new judges to the body. Now, we also see that the U.S. also ignored a previous finding by the WTO that earlier tariffs on steel and aluminum were actually imposed during Trump's first term and were against the rules. Now, but Tom Graham, who chaired the World Trade Organization's appellate body in 2016 and 2019, told the BBC that it will probably be a year before there is a decision from the first stage to Beijing's complaint, and it has a little chance of progressing further. Now, it may be a strong case, the way the WTO dispute settlement system used to work, but it has the possibility of succeeding, and here's ultimately, that's what he said. Now, Jeff Moon, who worked on China trade policy for President Barack Obama, told the BBC that he expected any initial WTO decision to support China's China's position. Now, these cases typically take years to be resolved. However, because of the appeals process, has been paralyzed. A final decision will actually be issued. Now, a former assistant United States Trade Representative, that is for China Affairs, added that Beijing needed to file the case to support its frequently stated position that it is the U.S. that undermines the rules-based trading system and relationship between the two countries. Now, we also see that China ranked as the country with the biggest deficit in goods in December, sending $25.3 billion more into the United States than it actually purchased. Now, the European Union, a target of Trump's tariff threats, had the second largest gap. Now, by contrast, the United States enjoyed small surplus from about 2.3 billion in goods trade with the United Kingdom, but the overall trade deficit in the United States, including the services, rose to about 17% year to a total of 918.4 billion as imports increased faster than the exports. Now, in December, the trade deficit in the goods and services was 98.4 billion, now the highest since March 2022. That is according to the Commerce Department, came out to give a statement in relation to that. All right, now, away from that, as we wind up our Caribbean, East Africa, and the international updates, Google joins firms dropping diversity recruitment goals. Now, Google has become the largest big United States firm to scrap its goals to recruit more workers from unprecedented groups. This according to what they told the press. Now, the decision to abandon the diversity, equity, and inclusion, that is the DEI, recruitment targets comes after the company carried out an annual review of its corporate policies. Now, the technology giant is also reviewing some of its other DEI programs. Now, the United States President Donald Trump and his allies have regularly attacked the DEI policies. Now, since his return to the White House just over 2 weeks ago, Trump has ordered government agencies to eliminate such initiatives. Now, a statement from the Google spokesperson says that we're committed to creating a workplace where our employees can succeed and have equal opportunities. That is according to Google spokesperson said. And they went further to say that we've updated the language to reflect this. And as a federal contractor, our teams are evaluating the changes that are required following recent court decisions and executive orders on this topic. Now, the story was first reported by the Wall Street Journal. And we know that between 2021 and 2024, Google's investor report stated that its commitment to make diversity, equity, and inclusion part of everything they do. Now, of course, that line in its latest report was published, that is on Wednesday. Now, in the recent years, Google had been an outspoken supporter of the DEI targets, particularly after murder of George Floyd in 2020 and the protests that followed his death. Now, at the time, Google chief executive, that is Sundar Pichai, set a 5-year goal to increase the number of its leaders who came from the underrepresented groups by about 30%. Now, according to the company, the number of the black people in leadership roles almost doubled between 2020 and last year. Now, Google also said it has since seen increases of women and Latino people among its leadership. Now, Google is the latest major company to make a U-turn on its diversity policies. Now, we see the likes of Meta, Amazon, Pepsi, McDonald's, Walmart, and others have rolled back their DEI programs. Now, we see that Apple has stood out by pushing back against this trend. Last month, the tech giant's board asked investors to vote against a proposal to be able to end its diversity policies. Now, of course, the proposal by the conservative group talking about the National Center for the Public Policy Research called the iPhone maker to abolish its DEI policies, saying they expose firms to litigation, reputational, and financial risks at the same time. Now, last week, the retail chain Target was sued by a group of shareholders led by the city of Rivera Beach Police Pension Fund in Florida, who said that the firm had defrauded them by allegedly concealing the risks associated with the DEI policies. Now, the lawsuit referred to a 2023 backlash over the LGBT merchandise at its stores, which caused both its sales and its stock price to definitely drop. Now, the lawsuit came after Target announced it would actually end its DEI targets. Now, in the latest example of Donald Trump's administration disapproval of such policies, the United States president last week speculated that without giving evidence that the DEI had led to an air crash in Washington, D.C. Now, the remarks, which came less than 24 hours after the crash, were in line with the White House's efforts to undo such programs, So, Donald Trump, new policies, replacing new policies, what does that really mean for the world trade, for the global trade, Okay. Now, finally, we see a report about USAID staff. The USAID staff will actually be put on leave starting this Friday, Now, thousands of employees of the United States Agency for International Development will actually be placed on leave from Friday night, the agency says. Now, a USAID statement said the order would actually affect all direct hire personnel except those on mission-critical factions, core leadership, and specially designated programs. Now, it's unclear exactly which jobs are going to be affected, but the statement posted on the agency's website said that employees would actually be notified by Thursday afternoon. Now, the Trump administration said USAID is wasting money and needs to align with the president's policy priorities. Now, agency staff backed by the Democrat lawmakers have actually protested over the cut, saying that they will put their lives in danger and hamper national security. Now, President Donald Trump's earlier decision to freeze foreign assistance has upended the global aid system. Now, with effects already felt in multiple countries. Now, the agency also provides humanitarian aid for more than 100 countries, employs 10,000 people worldwide. Now, 2/3 of those people work overseas, according to the Congressional Research Service. Now, USAID, founded in 1961, has a budget of around $40 billion per year, amounting to roughly 0.6% of federal spending, according to the official figures. Now, in a statement on its website on Tuesday, USAID said it would work with the United States Department of State to arrange and pay for return travel for personnel posted outside the United States within 30 days. Now, those employees who are part of the exceptions will be told by 20 hours Greenwich Mean Time today. Now, the statement concluded with a message: thank you for your service. Now, given that some USAID staff work in active conflict zones, it was not immediately clear how they would be withdrawn. Now, the measures are part of the string of cuts that Trump has enacted since returning to office last month through a coordination with Elon Musk's unofficial Department of Government Efficiency. Now, among the countries affected by the aid freeze in Haiti, we see the United States nation said on Tuesday that it had been notified by the United States that it was freezing $13.3 million in aid destined for the country. But on Wednesday, the United States Department issued a waiver exempting $40.7 million of foreign assistance for Haiti's national police and United Nations-backed international security mission. Now, earlier this week, the White House put out a statement listing a number of projects that it called evidence of waste and abuse, including a grant of $1.5 million to an LGBT group in Serbia and $2.5 million for electric vehicles in Vietnam. However, critics have called the moves to close the agency an illegitimate power grab spearheaded by Musk and an elected billionaire. Now, earlier this week, Trump's top diplomat, that is Marco Rubio, became the acting head of the USAID as part of its reported merger to the State Department. Now, on Tuesday, many USAID staffers received an email notifying them that they had already been placed on paid administrative leave. Now, the email obtained by the BBC News told the employees they must remain available by the telephone and email during business hours, but were also allowed to enter the USAID. We're not allowed, rather, to enter the USAID buildings. Now, Musk, the CEO of Tesla, SpaceX, has suggested USAID should actually be shut down and it's beyond repair. Now, many have cautioned that closing the agency doors would actually have devastating effects on vulnerable populations across the world. But of course, we see that USAID's activities range from providing prosthetic limbs to soldiers injured in Ukraine, to clearing landmines and containing the spread of Ebola in Africa. An HIV patient told the BBC in Nigeria told the BBC, and she and others are worried about the free drugs funded by the USAID would actually be cut off. Now, Democrats in Washington, D.C. have been particularly critical to the changes of the agency, calling them illegal and unconstitutional. Now, USAID is a foreign policy tool with a bipartisan origins that is critical in this dangerous global environment. Now, the New Jersey Democratic Senator, that is Andy Kim, who previously worked at the USAID, wrote on social media. Now, of course, it means getting our ability to keep America safe. That is what she wrote, Well, that is it from our East Africa and the international updates. And now let's go for the break, and definitely I'll be returning as we take a look at what's making headlines in the world of entertainment. Stick around.
Smart 24, driving business.
75 days since the last day of last season. We are ready to do it all again.
Get all the football on DSTV Cutback for only 110,000 shillings per month.
No matter your entertainment needs, Showmax has a selection of plans for you to choose from. The Showmax entertainment plan is perfect for you and your family. Watch Showmax originals, hit international and local series and movies. If you're a solo streamer, you can get all this on one mobile device. And for all the die-hard PL fans, catch all the live games on the Showmax Premier League mobile plan. Showmax has your back. Sign up today and let your streaming good life begin.
January na yet don't worry kuwanga chiri super duper. Nestan big Salaloni, you are never left alone. Over school fees, over home alone. Now you are just yala. There's no other bank that can give you a loan that is better. 16% interest, 96 month repayment. 350 million in amounting. Kugambia super duper. Chiri super duper. Nestan big is super duper. Chiri super duper. Nestan big bank super duper.
Chiri Super Duper with a Stanbic salary loan. Enjoy interest rates as low as 16% per annum, which is 1.34% per month, with a repayment period of a full 96 months, which means smaller repayment installments among other benefits. For more information, contact us on 0800 150 150.
Turn your house into the GoTV Kids Club. Your GoTV package is your ticket to entry, and there's plenty for everyone. Discover new places, play along with wacky characters, and learn fun facts and essential skills. So get and stay connected to GoTV. for 24-hour access to the GoTV Kids Club at home and on the go with GoTV Stream. GoTV. Love it.
Oli mukyala munna bizinensi era oyagala bizinensi yekulaakulane, gavumenti ya Uganda ekuleetedde ssente za Grow era nga weewola okuva ku bukadde buno okutuuka ku bukadde 2 n'osasula mu bbanga lya myaka 2 ate nga gw'asasula mu budde olinna mukisa ddala. Eri abakyala abanoonyi b'obubudamu nammwe abaliko obulemu, enteekateeka eno egenda kubakolako mu ngeri ey'enjawulo. Okumanya ebisingawo, tuukirira Post Bank, Equity Bank, DFCO, Centenary Bank, Finance Trust Bank ne Stanbic Bank oba genda ku mukutu gwaffe ogwa www.grow.go.ug oba okujja ku ofiisi za PSFU ku Kyaddondo Road e Nakasero ku kizimbe kya Trust Tower omwaliiro ogusooka oba okuweereza obubaka bwa WhatsApp ku nooti 762 3 nooti 4961. Omukisa guno gw'abakyala bonna okwetooloola eggwanga era ng'enteekateeka ya Grow evujjirirwa banka y'ensi yonna n'eteekebwa mu nkola Ministry y'ekikula ky'abantu ne Private Sector Foundation Uganda.
Grow, generating growth opportunities and productivity for women enterprises.
Kitante kyavaawa
kati waliwo omusajja eyattanze nti yasooka zitomeranga ne baga atomera ntomere kati ne bateekerawo ddala lufula ne bayitawo kittante
nga wooli
asaliwo bindi mu matu muno.
Amannya bampita Abdul Halim Muhammad, muzadde wa Muhammad Kitante Primary School. Nkozesa MTN momo okusasula school fees kubanga kyangu nnyo gikozesa singa ugenda mu banka n'osimba layini ne kusumbuwa. Abazadde mbagamba okozesa momo pay kubanga abantu bonna kati tugenda kuwangula ffenna tuli mu MTN tuwangule ffenna.
Kiwedde
owuli
mulondo omuwulidde omwami nze mba temanyirira abakyala bokka
n'abaami ate
bwekikwatagana ku muzadde.
School fees ezo *165*80#.
Here's your chance to win school fees for your child for a whole year. Just pay school fees using Momo. Dial *165*80#. Select option 2 for school pay. Select option 1 to pay school fees. Enter the student number and amount and approve the transaction. You will now enter the draw to win school fees for your child for a whole year.
Smart 24, driving business.
All right, as we proceed along, as we take a look at what's making headlines into the world of entertainment, I've been looking into some of the stories that are happening all across, but maybe to say something, there are reforms, there is restructuring that is happening, that is within Hollywood, one of the top entertainment industries, globally. Reforms, most especially over certainly being conglomerates. We are likely to see quite a huge number of spin-offs that is come 2025, and so many of the reforms that we shall be looking into. But firstly, let's first of all take a look at Eastbrook Studios, that is from London, that has opened doors for Hollywood production. Now, this is UK City's largest film and television studio campus, and it's about 12 stand stages, which will be operated by the Los Angeles-based property developer, that is Hackman Capital Partners. Now, property developer that is Hackman Capital Partners, owner of the LA Culver Studios and New York Silver Cap Studios, unveiled that is an opening of London's largest film and TV production complex. Now, Eastbrook Studios is a 21.5-acre campus with about 12 purpose-built sound stages ranging from 16,000 square feet to about 32,000 square feet in size. Now, of course, the launch of the film complex shows that the UK government is introducing a 40% corporate tax rates relief for film and TV studio facilities. That is until 2024, and a new independent film incentive of about 40%. Now, we see that the generous tax credits and major pool of talent has helped make the UK a key production hub for the Hollywood studios and streamers, of course, looking to make movie tentpoles and high-end TV. Of course, when we see such developments happening, they take us back to the fires that happened in Hollywood that destroyed some of the construction scenes. Some production studios were actually affected. So I think what Hollywood is doing, looking into outside, seeing how they can actually lobby other scenes, because I read a scary report about the fires that was actually suggesting that some of the places that were being showcased in Hollywood movies that got banned as a result of the LA fires might be gone for good. So, absolutely, it may be harder to reconstruct them at this particular time. It will take a longer time. And of course, the fact that the industry is on pressure, there is recovery to the pre-pandemic levels. So they don't have the time to spend and resources on something that is actually a liability, more of an asset. So they had to look into other places where they can actually secure production studios. They get sceneries, so I won't be surprised to see if Hollywood starts to have branches, when it comes to not only movie studios, but scenes of shooting movies, I'm thinking. Now, the former Netflix executive and Eastbrook Studios managing director, that is Bradley Bissett, said the complex that our modern and technologically advanced stages have the flexibility to welcome productions of every scale and type. This is what he said. Now, this new creative hub right here in London is among the world's finest, and he said that we're extremely proud to be delivering world-class infrastructure for both domestic and international productions. Now, at the same time, in the United Kingdom and elsewhere, a reduction in film and TV content production budgets for the major studios and streamers after the 2023 Hollywood strikes, combined with the rising construction costs in major cities worldwide, has led to a slower pace to open unfinished all new film studios on both sides of the Atlantic. Now, Hackman Capital in 2020 first won a contested bidding process to earn the contract to build a 21-acre site in East London town of Dagenham, as it promised to invest over $420 million into the property to be named Eastbrook Studios. Now, we see that the completed film studio will be operated by an affiliate of Hackman Capital Partners. Now, the MBS Group, that is Eastbrook Studios, is one of the 19 production campuses with 145 existing sound stages that Hackman Capital and the MBS Group run across North America and the UK and Ireland. So let's wait and see what this new studio, this new site will actually have for Hollywood in London. Then in other stories, IMAX records its best Chinese new box office return with $53 million. Now, the film tech company brought the China Lunar New Year ticket sales hitting its own record high of 1.3 billion on the strength of local releases like Ni ZHA2. Now, IMAX posted a record high of $53 million in box office over China Lunar's year period with animated blockbuster that is Ni Ha 2 leading the way with at least $36 million in ticket sales on its giant screens. Now, IMAX during the week of February 4th rode the strength of China's own New Year box, of course, hitting a new record of about $1.3 billion of the peak of movie-going period. Now, IMAX, with 5.5 million admissions to its theaters during the week, powered past its previous Chinese New Year box office record of about $34 million set in 2023. Now we see that Enlight Pictures animated sequel, then Nisa 2, directed by Yu Yang, across China, earned $434 million. That is in takings over the lunar year period and on its track to overtake the hour film. Now this is the Battle of the Lake of Changchun, which grossed about $913 million as China's biggest blockbuster of all time. Now, ticketing application that is Smart Oyen has actually projected Nisa 2 to climb as high as $944 million in box office, underlining how IMAX record-breaking takings for each theater network in China has ways to run. Now, the first Nisa film became China's biggest animated hit ever with 699.3 million performance in 2019. Now, we see that Chinese New Year unleashed one of the most impressive surges in movie going we've seen in the recent years anywhere in the world. That's what according is being said, leaving a slew of what we call the broken IMAX records in its wake. Now we see that Richard Glenford, that is the CEO of IMAX, said in a statement on Wednesday, he said that this is a shot of an adrenaline for movie going in China that comes at a time that comes just at the right time. That's what he said. With a tempo heavy state of local language and Hollywood films ahead of the 2025 added. Now, IMAX and the Beijing film industry is likely hoping that the strong holiday numbers will actually draw a line under the sector's dismissal performance last year. Now, the annual ticket revenue in the country plummeted 25% to about $5.8 billion in 2024, prompting many in the local industry to publicly worry that the theoretical model could actually be a terminal decline. Now, during the latest Chinese New Year, Alibaba's fantasy creation of the Gods 2, Demon Force, delivered 7.6 million in box office and IMAX screens, and Bonner's naval drama Operation That Is Harder added another 2.7 million in takings for the giant screen theater network in China. Now, creation of the Gods 2, that is the Demon Force, and the Warner Pictures comedy mystery franchise installment Detective Chinatown were also released on IMAX screens across 11 countries worldwide, bringing in over 1.2 million in ticket sales outside China. Now, Nisa 2 will be shown exclusively in IMAX theaters in Australia and New Zealand, that is starting February the 6th. That's when we shall see IMAX rolling out new releases. But so far, it is doing incredibly good on the Chinese market. You know, the box office and kickstarting off with massive sales, as I have been reading through the figures, seeing exactly what they are earning. Then we have another story that has actually surfaced. And now this is in line with the final flicker of the cable's news network, that is CNN. Of course, we know that it's part of a larger conglomerate with Warner Brothers Discovery. Now, MCNBC is getting spun out. Now, we see that CNN is restructuring and the Murdochs are launching a streamer. But can any of them survive the slow death of TV news? TV news is actually dying out, according to the reports here. Now, at the moment when the news cycle is moving at a breakneck pace, cable news executives are grappling with the uncomfortable reality. Now, the future of the business has actually never been more uncertain. Now, one of the veteran executives argues that it's more likely than known that by the end of Donald President's term, he says that CNN, MSNBC, and yes, even Fox News could actually have new ownership as the power structures that have defined media for the past 4 decades break down. Now, MCNBC is ready to set up to be spun off from Comcast and NBC Universal, joining sister channel that is CNBC at SpinCo. That is a cable-focused venture to be led by Mark Lazarus. Now, we take a look at Warner Brothers Discovery. A restructuring has placed CNN into Global Linear Networks division, seemingly destined for future deal-making. Now, even Fox News, with its relative financial and ratings strength, isn't immune from speculation. Now, Rupert Murdoch, who effectively controls Fox through an irrevocable family trust, has been trying to amend that trust to give his son, that is Lachlan Murdoch, control. Now, should that legal effort fail, multiple Wall Street sources believe that Murdoch would actually engage in sell talks or work with Lachlan to figure out a way to buy out his siblings, thus avoiding a succession-style public battle for the family empire. Now, this is what they say. They say that we believe that there is a near 0% chance that Rupert wants to leave planet Earth with the future of the assets he spent his life building left in limbo. Now, of course, Lightshade Partners, that is Rich Greenfield, wrote in a note in December. They say that if Lachlan is unable to cement control through a buyout, then we suspect that Rupert would actually look to sell Fox's assets, It's not hard to understand why the cable news business is seemingly on the edge of preside. Of course, despite the fact that there is more news than ever with the president, who is a avid viewer, and has stacked his cabinet with the TV veterans. Now, a CNN CEO, that is Mark Thompson, told the staff on January 23rd that there will be profound, irreversible shifts in the way consumers get their news, and the product needs to reflect that, Now, those shifts are even more stark when looking at the troubled economics of the cable TV. Now, by now, everyone knows that the challenges that cord cutting has wrought with younger consumers largely opting not to pay for TV and instead spending their dollars on streaming platforms. Now, and whilst cable news channels sack up a higher percentage of cable's declining viewership, we see that MSNBC viewership has increased, that is by 57% during the past decade, despite 33% fewer pay TV households. For example, the business challenges remain stark, if we had to look at it that way. But anyway, let us see what the future holds for this industry come 2025, as new amendments are definitely being set into play. Then finally, as we cross over to the music side, live music market is predicted to reach $35 billion United States dollars with a 2% CAGR by 2032. Oh, that is quite incredible. Live music performances, no auto-tune, no nothing but live music. You perform with your voice, so you stand a chance to make a lot more money. Now, according to the new report published by the Wise Guy report, live music market size was estimated at exactly $29.25 billion United States dollars. Now, the live music market industry is expected to grow, that is from 29.84 in 2024 to about $35 billion by 2032. Now, the live music market growth rate is expected to be around 2.02% during the forecast period of 2025 up to 2032. Now, the live music market has experienced significant growth in the recent years, establishing itself as a vital component of the global entertainment industry. Now, this expansion definitely is driven by a rising consumer preference for live events and increasing affordability of the premium tickets. Now, the key players in the live industry include Live Nation Entertainment there is Warner Music Group, we have Ticketmaster, we have Sony Music Entertainment, and now these companies have played pivotal roles in organizing, promoting, and managing the live events across the various regions. Now, there are extensive networks and resources enable them to attract top-tier talent and deliver high-quality live music experiences to audiences worldwide. So the market is segmented and based on the revenue streams, including the ticket sales, sponsorships, merchandising, and we see that ticket sales remain the primary source of income driven by concerts, festivals, and also other live performances. Now, sponsorships and merchandising also contribute significantly, that is, as brands seek to associate themselves with popular music events to enhance their visibility and reach at the same time. Now, the report still reveals that several dynamics influence the growth of live music market's trajectory. Now, the growing demand for live music experiences primarily is a primary driver as audiences increasingly seek immersive and authentic entertainment options. Now, technological advancements such as mobile applications for seamless ticket booking and event information have enhanced accessibility and also convenience of attending live events. However, challenges persist, including rising costs associated with event rentals, talking about artist fees, event production, which can actually impact profitability. Additionally, increasing competition from other entertainment options and digital content poses a threat to sustained growth. Now, the recent developments in the industry highlight both opportunities and challenges. For instance, the Australian Music Festival Groovin and More was actually cancelled for the second consecutive year in 2025 due to insufficient ticket sales and the rising production costs. Now, this underscores the financial pressures faced by the live music events in certain regions. Now, conversely, collaborations between artists and brands, such as partnership between Aussie rock brand Dune Rats and the Two Hazen Tour, aim to revitalize the live music scene by supporting local venues and also making live performances more financially viable. Now, if we take a look at regionally, the United States represents a significant portion of the live music market share, with a diverse range of genres and events contributing to its vibrancy. Now, the market size in the United States was estimated at exactly $15 billion in 2025 and is expected to reach at least $23.5 billion by 2030, reflecting a growth rate of at least 8.5% during the forecast period. Now, this growth is attributed to a strong consumer preference for live music events and a diverse range of offerings that is including concert, festivals, and special performances. Now, in conclusion, the live music market is poised for continued growth according to what we see, but of course driven by consumer demand and authentic experiences and what we call technological innovations that enhance accessibility. But while the challenges such as rising operation costs and competition from digital entertainment persist, strategic collaborations and adaptive business models offer pathways for sustained success in this dynamic industry. So that is exactly that is happening. Live music market is actually increasing. So the world seems to be more interested now to appreciate people with the natural talent, no more auto-tune. People love something that is real, they can relate to and feel original. Well, that is it for now. Let's go for the break, and definitely our business insight is into the pipeline. Stick around.
Smart 24, driving business.
My name is Angela Nafuliodai. I'm head of the Diaspora Division of the Directorate of Citizens and Diaspora Organizations. We act as a bridge or an interface between the African Union and then all non-governmental actors or entities. How we do this is best how we engage them. We mobilize civil society actors within the continent and then outside of the continent. We do this by streamlining their events, and then we see how best they are suitable or relevant towards the AU's policies, programs, and plans. So this is what CEDAW does. CEDAW is divided into two divisions, the Diaspora Division, to which I belong, and then the Civil Society Division. So one part engages civil society actors within the continent, and then so far as the diaspora is concerned, per the AU's definition of the diaspora, it is anyone of African descent or origin who lives outside of the continent, who irrespective of their citizenship or area of naturalization is willing to engage. Based on this, we engage diaspora actors from abroad, and then we bring them in to various developmental projects, and then we are even trying to achieve how best we can actually fit them into the political sphere whereby their voices will count. Youth engagement, like every other thing, is not in isolation so far as CEDAW's work or daily activities are concerned, because what CEDAW does is an integration, and we know that with migrants or with diaspora, they cut every facet of the society and they fit into every single department or vice. So what happens is that we engage a lot of youth in specifically when we talk about youth programs, we engage a lot of youth in business, entrepreneurship. We engage a lot of youth into civic engagement. During our regional consultative conferences, for example, we make sure that the youth are encouraged to join politics in their host countries. We encourage them that despite their migrant status or any other status they might have, once they qualify, it will be good for them to form networks. It will be good for their voices to be heard. It will be good for them to actually impact or reflect the kind of positive image that Africa will have out there. So basically, we talk about African Renaissance, we talk about integration issues and we talk about the various diaspora categories that we have, talking about the first generation, talking about the second and third generations, and then we even talk about the historical diaspora, because per our definition and our scope of work, it cuts across every. And we all know that Africa has the biggest and the most diverse diaspora. Over 200 million African diasporas living in the Americas and Caribbean, cutting across to the Afro-Turks, Afro-Indians, those from east of Africa who've settled in there, and all that. So we have various gradients, and then we engage them. Once they are willing to engage, we actually work with them, and then we see how best we can streamline all these activities into the AU's developmental projects and plans.
Cooking oil like no other makes your meal so sweet and scrumptious. Hey, the taste of Uganda. Yeah, I want ya. The taste of Uganda. Yeah, I want ya. Fortune family, the taste of Uganda.
Upgrades are nice, but stepping up is woohoo!
I got a surprise for you.
Upgrade today to get even more with Step Up.
That's huge! I know!
So if you're on GoTV Max and upgrade to GoTV Super, you'll get even more with GoTV Super Plus.
Really clever play.
Get big value. Get big entertainment.
It makes the difference.
Get stepped up to even more with GoTV.
Man.
Upgrade today using the MyGoTV app or dial *206#.
Are you a woman entrepreneur or woman owning a business and looking for affordable financing to scale up your business? Look no further than the Grow Loan. Grow Loan targets female entrepreneurs nationwide. Key features include a minimum loan amount of 4 million and a maximum loan amount of 200 million shillings, a maximum interest rate not exceeding 10.5% per annum, a loan repayment period not exceeding 24 months. All GROW loan borrowers must comply with the GROW project environmental and social standards. Special incentives are available for borrowers that are refugees or from the refugee host communities, people living with disabilities, and women entrepreneurs from the underserved or minority groups. To apply, contact any of the 6 participating financial institutions. Contact us for more information or visit our website at www.grow.go.ug. The GROW loan is an intervention under the GROW project, a Government of Uganda project financed by the World Bank and implemented by the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development and the Private Sector Foundation Uganda. GROW, generating growth opportunities and productivity for women enterprises.
Tukwaniriza waka eri ebisanyusa. Eri Wi-Fi buli wamu. Eri speedi za internet ezawaggulu. Eri obukuumi. Eri obuyambi obuli mu ddaala erisooka. Eri okwanguyirizibwa. Tukwaniriza waka eri MTN Wakanet, internet ensukulumu eri buli maka. Kyalira www.mtn.co.ug kasale Wakanet. Tukwaniriza waka nga tuli wamu tewali kitulema.
This is Jordan. When it comes to classwork, Jordan is magic. Jordan shines. Jordan makes his peers better. Jordan is a true leader. White Star Magic family. Be a leader. Be magic.
Chichi baby ababbi bakutte abapoliisi tulina obeera mu nsonga zino. Ababbi bakutte abapoliisi?
This is Matoma, and well there, scored against the club with which he won the title more than a decade ago. And it's the 100th goal.
Upgrade to become BFF with the Premier League and enjoy football's best moments at only 90,000 shillings. Go TV Uganda. Love it.
Smart 24, driving business.
All right, now welcome back from the break, and now heading straight into our business insight as we are winding this up here on Smart Means a Business. Now, Uganda has been recognized as a top emerging travel destination at the Global Tourism Expo. It was recognized. Now, Uganda recognized as the most promising new destination at the recently concluded outbound travel market, Bombay, a prestigious global tourism exhibition that was held, that is from 30th January to 1st of February. Now, of course, we see the award was presented to Uganda's High Commissioner to India, that is Joyce Kakurumatusi. That is by the chairman CEO of the Fairface Media Limited, that is the chief organizers of the event. Now, the Indo-Asia Tourism Expo is one of the leading international tourism events that is attracting key industry players across the entire world. Now, Uganda's participation, coordinated by the Uganda High Commission for New Delhi and Uganda Airlines in collaboration, that is with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities. There is Uganda Tourism Board, Uganda Wildlife Authority, and the Uganda Tour Operators Association. So these were among that coordinated this particular event for the country, Uganda. Now, Uganda was well represented at the Expo with several destination marketing companies showcasing the country's rich and diverse tourism offerings. Now, among them were the Busunga Tours and Travel Limited Moments, Beyond the Borders, Countrysides. We have the Nandi Adventures, Ameris Africa Safaris, Speak Uganda Holidays, Crystal Safaris and Lodges, and Uganda Safari Company. Now, the Ugandan Pavilion attracted a significant attention, ranking among the most visited and highly rated standards by the international tourism buyers and sellers at the same time. Now, we all know that Uganda's unique tourism attractions, that is including primate tracking, gorillas and chimpanzees. We have bird watching with over 1,200 species, rich cultural heritage. We have the breathtaking safaris, adventure tourism, and scenic freshwater lakes and rivers position the country as a top African travel destination. Now, Uganda's recognition at the OTM Bombay 2025 presents a major opportunity to tap into the lucrative Indian travel market. Now, to build on this momentum, Uganda must continue participating in such a high-profile events to establish strong partnerships with major tourism stakeholders. Definitely, this aligns with the country's long-term vision and boosting tourism revenue and achieving $500 billion economy within the next 15 years. Now, in the coming months, Uganda High Commission, and that is in New Delhi, alongside the key stakeholders, will organize a familiarization trip for the leading Indian tour operators. Now, the goal is to provide them with a first-hand experience of Uganda's attractions, enabling them to promote the country to their clients. Now, additionally, we see that Uganda is targeting the top travel influencers, that is leading tourism publications and Bollywood film producers to enhance its global appeal. By the way, movies play a crucial role when it comes to promoting tourism, and it's one of the aspects that I see here. You know, Uganda is targeting top travel influencers, leading tourism publications, and Bollywood film producers to enhance its global appeal. Now, notably, Ramji, this is a renowned Indian film producer, has expressed interest in shooting a movie in Uganda that will actually showcase its stunning landscapes and tourist hotspots. Now, with a potential viewership of over 50 million people in India and Asia, such a project could actually significantly boost Uganda's visibility and attract over 1 million Indian tourists. Now, the launch of the Uganda Airlines direct flights, that is Entebbe and Mumbai in October 2023, has also made travel between the two countries easier and much more accessible. Now, the key development is expected to boost tourism trade and investment further, reinforcing Uganda's growing appeal as a prime travel destination. So, let's wait and see how Uganda will actually take in through this particular stage. All right. Now, away from that, as we head into other stories of what is really headlining, we see the CEO of MTN says that Uganda's telecom industry is set for major transformation in 2025. This is according to MTN Uganda CEO. Now, Uganda telecoms industry is set to undergo significant transformation that is come 2025, driven by the emerging technologies and evolving customer demands. Now, speaking during a media roundtable at MTN Uganda headquarters in Kampala, MTN Uganda executive officer, that is Sylvia Molinga, said key trends such as artificial intelligence, low Earth orbit satellites, and innovations in mobile financial services will actually shape the sector's future, presenting both opportunities and challenges. opportunities and challenges for telecom operators. That is what she said. Now, she made a statement and she said that generative artificial intelligence will be a game changer in the telecom. This is what she said. In her very own statements she said, we are already seeing global providers use artificial intelligence to predict network disruptions and also resolve issues before they affect the customers. Now, artificial intelligence powered tools like chatbots are transforming customer engagement, making services more efficient and quite responsive. Now, the CEO identified LEO satellites as another critical innovation, and noting that there are potential to extend connectivity to remote and underserved areas. So far, providers such as Starlink and OneWeb are at the forefront of this technology, which experts say could actually complement traditional telecom infrastructure and also help bridge the digital divide in rural Uganda. Now, the increasing availability of affordable smartphones, Malinga added, is accelerating internet penetration and giving more Ugandans access to digital services and economic opportunities. Now, she said mobile financial services are poised to reshape the telecom industry, the telecom landscape, which a growing population embraces mobile money for transfers, payments, savings, and investments. Now, in line with these global trends, Malinga said that MTN Uganda is positioning itself at the forefront of the actor's transformation. She emphasized that the company's strategic priorities for 2025 focus on expanding network coverage, driving digital and financial inclusion, and investing in sustainability and innovation at the same time. Now, she said that the company's recent rollout of over 550 5G sites and upgrades to MTN's 4G network in rural areas reflect its commitment in improving connectivity for all the Ugandans. Now, there are also aspects of expanding network coverage in rural areas. Is not just a business, but it's about ensuring that every Ugandan has access to opportunities the digital world offers, she said. Now, our investments in mobile money services from micro-lending and savings across the border remittances are designed to empower the communities and foster economic growth at the end of the day, she still further highlighted out. Now, she also pointed out MTN Uganda's focus on partnerships with governments and businesses to digitize the payment systems, aligning with the broader push toward a cashless economy. Now, Malinga said sustainability and social impact remain central to MTN Uganda's long-term strategy. She highlighted that the company is investing in green technologies and community-driven initiatives, reflecting its commitment to creating a positive change. Now, diversity and inclusion, Malinga added, are the core business values that drive innovation and strengthen decision-making across the organization. Now, with Uganda's young and tech-savvy population, the future is promising. Of course, she noted the digital transformation happening in the telecom will actually unlock new opportunities in education, talking about healthcare and agriculture, of course, driving economic growth and empowering communities. Now, MTN Uganda, listed on the Uganda Securities Exchange, had about 21.6 million mobile customers, 13.2 million fintech customers, and 19.3 million data customers as the end of September 30th, 2024. So, part of the key in his statement, the CEO of MTN Uganda said artificial intelligence as one of the key trends when it comes to managing the services, solving problems before they actually do happen to the consumers. That is the way out. And companies should also invest more in artificial intelligence as one of the key aspects to monitor networks efficiently, effectively, and also sustainably at the same time. All right, now away from that, let's take a look at Uganda's $70 million cardiac hospital, which is said to be the heartbeat of training. Now, Uganda has started building a state-of-the-art cardiac center for excellence at Naguru Nekawa that will enhance specialized cardiac care, reduce referrals abroad, and expanding training, research, and also create more job opportunities. Now, the Prime Minister, that is Robin Nabanja Hartley, represented President Yoweri Museveni to break ground for the construction of the Heart Institute's new 250-bed capacity facility, and stressed that the project is part of Uganda's 2040 vision and the National Development Plan 3. Now, this was amidst much dancing and cheering on Tuesday in the presence of the stakeholders, including Mohammed bin Khalil, the newly appointed ambassador of the Royal Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to Uganda. Now, the Prime Minister said that she expected the Heart Institute facility that will say to benchmark in East African region and told the Arab contractors officials at the building site. Of course, they say that we shall not entertain delays. The people of Uganda deserve a fully operational world-class hospital within the agreed time frame of the 2 years. Now, the Health Minister, that is Jen Rotha-Cheng, promised the government remains committed to strengthening healthcare by investing in modern infrastructure. Now, this hospital, this is what she said, the Minister of Health. I should say that this hospital will not only treat the patients, but also enhance specialized training and research in cardiovascular medicine. Now, today's groundbreaking is not just about the new building. It represents hope, progress, and commitment to ensuring that every Ugandan has access to world-class cardiovascular care right here at home, she said. Now, the OPEC Fund for International Development is providing about $20 million loan to Uganda to support the construction and equipping the Uganda Heart Institute facility. And the loan is part of the $73 million package put together, $20 million by the Arab Bank for Economic Development in Africa, and $30 million from the Saudi Fund for Development, and the $3 million from the government of Uganda. Now, increasing access to cardiovascular services, that is from 12,000 patients currently to over 60,000 patients per year. The institute will help. Reduce fertilities and healthcare costs and allow prevention of early diagnosis of related health issues. Now, according to the World Health Organization, 10% of the total annual deaths in Uganda from major non-communicable diseases are attributed to heart disease. Now, earlier, the OPEC Director General, that is Dr. Abdul Hamid, said that access to efficient and modern health care directly affects the quality of life and socioeconomic well-being. Now, the Uganda Heart Institute will provide a large capacity when it comes to cardiovascular care facility with state-of-the-art equipment and essential supplies for the entire Ugandan population. So what's the promise here? The promise is that the construction and equipping of the hospital is on 10 acres of land. Now, the hospital complex will consist of 3 blocks. In addition, the complex will house 3 operating theaters, 2 cardiac, catheterization, and 40 state-of-the-art cardiac intensive care units. That is what will be entailed. Now, the chairman, board of directors, that is Dr. James Margaret, this is what he has to say. He says that this hospital will be a game changer, transforming cardiovascular healthcare in Uganda and beyond. With a 250-bed capacity, state-of-the-art medical equipment, and specialized treatment facilities, it will significantly improve the diagnosis, treatment, and prevention of heart diseases. Now, by reducing the need for referrals abroad, we will save the country millions of foreign exchange and also make Uganda as a hub for medical tourism. Now, the facility will serve both Ugandans and patients from across the region, reinforcing our role as a leader in heart care. This is according to the chairman board of directors, that is Dr. James Magara, mentioned that. And then we have the Uganda Heart Institute director, that is Dr. John Omigano. This is what he said. He said that with 10 floors, 250 beds, 3 operating theaters, and 2 catheterization labs, a new UHI hospital will provide world-class cardiovascular care. Now, this project ensures affordable treatment, specialized training, and also reduced referrals abroad. That will be very good news. Now, Dr. Diana Atwine, that is the permanent secretary to the Ministry of Health, what she said was, beyond saving lives, it will significantly cut the cost for both the government and individuals by reducing the need for expensive travel abroad for specialized heart treatment and surgeries. That is a major milestone for Uganda's healthcare system. And yeah, I can see the Uganda Heart Institute put it on its Twitter, calling it the project, the construction and equipping of the Uganda Heart Institute at Naguru, and the project has the following objectives. They have listed them here, and one of them on their X platform is to provide accessible cardiovascular treatment and care for all the people in Uganda. So that is all that we say. So let's wait and see how Uganda will embark on this journey of medical tourism, and what will it have an effect on the referrals abroad that we have been having consequently, you know. So it's time to see how this really works out. Let's go for the break for now, and I'll be returning as we wind this up. Stick around.
Smart 24, driving business.
Kitande kyavaawa
kati waliwo omusajja eyattanze nti yasooka zitomeranga ne baga ntomere kati ne bateekerawo ddala lufula ne bayitawo kittante
nga wooli
saalimu bindi mumatomono.
Amannya bampita Abdul Halim Muhammad, muzadde wa Muhammad Chitante Primary School. Nkozesa MTN momo okusasula school fees kubanga kyangu nnyo gikozesa, singa ugenda mu banka n'osimba line ne kusumbuwa. Abazadde mbagamba okozesa momo pay kubanga abantu bonna kati tugenda kuwangula, ffenna tuli mu MTN tuwangule ffenna.
Kiwedde
owuli
mulondo omuwulidde omwami nze mba temanyirira abakyala bokka
n'abaami ate
bwekikwatagana ku muzadde.
School fees ezo *165 *80
Here's your chance to win school fees for your child for a whole year. Just pay school fees using Momo. Dial *165 *80 hash. Select option 2 for school pay. Select option 1 to pay school fees. Enter the student number and amount and approve the transaction. You will now enter the draw to win school fees for your child for a whole year.
3 inspired souls brought together by love are set on a life-changing journey.
This is your life, Mackenzie. This is no longer a dream.
It's just something about Mackenzie.
I'll never marry you.
Your position does not allow you to break work relationship rules.
Where choices change everything. Crossroads, weekdays at 8 p.m. on Pal Magic Prime. DSTV channel 148, GoTV channel 303. Tuli mu January na ye don't worry kuwanga chiri super duper. Nestan big salary loan, you are never left alone. Over school fees, over home loan, over you are just yalla. There's no other bank that can give you a loan that is better. 16% interest, 96 month repayment, 350 million in amounting. Kugambye super duper, chiri super duper, Nestan big is super duper, chiri super duper, Nestan big bank super duper.
Chiri Super super duper with the Stanbic salary loan. Enjoy interest rates as low as 16% per annum, which is 1.34% per month, with a repayment period of a full 96 months, which means smaller repayment installments among other benefits. For more information, contact us on 0800 150 150.
Njagala kulaba taata wange.
Bulira jangu wano.
Mwana wange oluvannyuma tusisinkanye.
Toli kitange.
Ngozi yakoma okuzaala dda nnyo nga tannaba nakuwasa mmwe.
Kati olaba byonna ebituuseewo.
Naye kiki ky'onjagaza?
Mujja wange anyinako obujja. Tanjagala ewatali ensonga.
Amakya gano tugamala effembe mukwano.
Watali n'eddagala.
Fire is burning on the mountain like
genda olisaasaanye mu nnyumba ye.
Ono uncle.
Eki?
Oli mukyala munna bizinesi era oyagala bizinesi yeekulaakulane? Gavumenti ya Uganda ekuleetedde ssente za Grow era nga weewola okuva ku bukadde buno okutuuka ku bukadde 2 n'osasula mu bbanga lya myaka 2 ate nga gw'asasula mu budde olina mukisa ddala. Eri abakyala abanoonyi b'obubuddamu nammwe abaliko obulemu, enteekateeka eno egenda kubakolako mu ngeri ey'enjawulo. Okumanya ebisingawo, tuukirira Post Bank, Equity Bank, DFCO, Centenary Bank, Finance Trust Bank ne Stanbic Bank oba genda ku mukutu gwaffe ogwa www.grow.go.ug oba okujja ku ofiisi za PSFU ku Kyaddondo Road e Nakasero ku kizimbe kya Trust Tower omwaliiro ogusooka oba okuweereza obubaka bwa WhatsApp ku nooti 7623 3 nooti 4961. Omukisa guno gw'abakyala bonna okwetooloola eggwanga era ng'enteekateeka ya Grow evujjirirwa banka y'ensi yonna n'eteekebwa mu nkola Ministry y'ekikula ky'abantu ne Private Sector Foundation Uganda.
Grow, generating growth opportunities and productivity for women enterprises.
Tandika olugendo lw'enkyukakyuka y'obulamu bwo ng'osumulula ebitone by'olina. Wano tussessira ku bantu ssekinnoomu abakozesa obukugu n'ebitone byabwe eby'enjawulo okutandika emirimu gy'okubeezaawo obulamu bwabwe. Wulira emboozi zaabwe, zuula okusoomoozebwa kwe bayitamu era oyiga engeri gye batambuliramu mu lugendo lw'obulamu bwabwe okutuuka ku buwanguzi. Funa wano amagezi agayinza okuyamba ku ngeri y'okuyingizaamu ssente okuyita mu by'emikono.
Tugoberere ku Smart 24 TV tujja kubeera wano buli lunaku buli kadde tandika ssaawa 6 goberera ebyemizannyo tujja kuba tukutuusaako ebyo gy'otabadde ng'owaakapapula tetugenda kwerabira buli kimu tugenda kubeera naawe ojja kumanya ddakiika eyakusudde mwewaliiridde wawa kyo ky'otaakoze tukubuulire mutendesi ki asobola okuwangula ekikopo kya Premier League, Italian Serie A, La Liga, Champions League. Tujja kuba buli kimu tukikutuusaako wano ku Smart 24 TV, Smart Sports nange Kyewune.
Abantu bangi bafiira mu bubenje buli wiiki batugamba basuba mu 7. Oyagala okunnyonnyoka ekiviirako ekyo? Program vumbula ekidduka kyo.
Omuntu atudde munda, those are safety belts. Kisinga emmotoka efuna obuzibu ofuna instant braking. Kati bw'oba ontudde mabega nze nsibye omusipi fe ab'emaaso nze driver ne nkola instant braking nga gwe tosibyewo emabega olaba woyitawo n'otubuukira n'okuba omutwe mu ndabirwamu
omuntu yenna buli owulira nga emmotoka yeefunye enkenyera olina obuzibu tetambula bulungi etambula ekoonakoona tesiba kibaka buvunanyizibwa otwala emmotoka mu garaji
buli lunaku olwa sande essaawa 7 okutuuka 7 n'ekitundu neddibwamu ku lunaku olwokusatu essaawa 4 okutuuka 4 n'ekitundu ez'ekiro nange omuweerezaawo Davis Joe Eddungu ku Smart 24 TV kwe tuli ku DSTV tuli ku mukutu ogwa 372 ate ku GoTV ku 320 program vumbula ekidduka kyo.
Smart 24, driving business.
Exactly 30 minutes to the top of the hour, but we definitely are winding this up. Now, let's take a look at Uganda's Microhome Scientific dispatches the first locally made HIV test kits. Now, the Microhome Scientific, that is a Ugandan medical supplies company founded by the Uganda Development Bank, has dispatched its first consignment of locally manufactured diagnostic kits to the government of Uganda through the national medical stores. Now, the MHS produces diagnostic kits that enhance the efficiency, talking about convenience and accuracy of malaria, HIV, and talking about sickle cell disease diagnosis. Now, Patricia Jangola, the managing director of the Uganda Development Bank, described the event as a significant milestone and a testament to the remarkable potential of Uganda's innovation and industry capabilities. Now, this is what they say. He said, at UDB, our mission has always been to empower local enterprises, foster sustainable growth, and drive socioeconomic transformation through strategic investments, as they are doing. And today we see tangible results of that mission that came to life with an investment of about $7.5 million allocated for asset financing and the purchase of the raw materials. We have not only supported the Microhome scientific journey, but also reinforced our belief in the power of homegrown solutions to address critical healthcare challenges. Jangola stated in at the event held in Ntinda, Kampala, where MHC's production facility is actually located. Now, this project aligns with Uganda Development Bank's mandate of and strategic plan to support manufacturing enterprises. Now, it aims to create the range of scale-up productions for import substitution, export promotion, improved trade terms for growth, that is to grow the industrial sector and enhance its contribution to the nation. Now, Dr. Cedric, that is Akwesige, the managing director of Microhome Scientific, emphasized that the company is working to reduce reliance on imports by locally manufacturing products that have traditionally been sourced from abroad. You know, that's what we see. Now, of course, he also highlighted the challenges faced by the Ugandan manufacturers, particularly the lack of long-term financing. I was actually cited out. Now, as we know, currently, Uganda utilizes approximately 30 million malaria tests and 15 million HIV tests, that is annually. Now, until now, all these rapid diagnostic tests have actually been imported, and the MHS aims to tap into this market. Now, local supply brings additional benefits, including eliminating shipping costs and improving what we call the efficiency, convenience, and accuracy of malaria, HIV, and sickle cell diagnostics. Now, MHS is ISO 13485 certified for certified for in vitro diagnostics for malaria, HIV, and sickle cell testing. Currently, the company employs at least 423 permanent and 27 temporary staff, producing 80 million tests, that is annually, with the potential to scale up. Now, the firm's product pipeline also includes monoclonal antibodies and vaccines, among other offerings. Now, officials in the health sector celebrated this significant milestone as a crucial step towards improving the supply and efficiency of the country's healthcare system. But however, Dr. Daniel Chabayinza, the director of the public health representing Dr. Atwini, the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Health, praised the government for supporting enterprises in the healthcare sector. This is what he said. The best gift you can give to any innovator is a market. This is according to what Dr. Chabayinza remarked, referring to the government's 10-year overtake guarantee granted for MHAs. Of course, they say that we hold 12 million diagnostics for malaria every year in Uganda, and those are just the ones documented by the government. Now, the market for the prompt and accurate diagnostic is significant. Now, the kit manufactured by the MHS replaces the need for a microscope, which requires an operator to spend an hour before providing the results with this kit. Now, results can actually be obtained in just 15 minutes. Now, Dr. Chabayinza emphasized the very importance of the accurate diagnostics, noting that a wrong positive diagnosis for conditions like hepatitis could actually lead to lifelong treatment arrangement. Now, in contrast, a wrong negative diagnosis for malaria could actually be fatal if left untreated. Yeah, so Uganda is actually scoring quite huge when it comes to the medical sector. You know, we saw a hospital that is going to be dealing with vesicular treatment. Now we're seeing kits being manufactured locally by local enterprises with the support of the Uganda Development Bank. All right, now the final report here. Kampala traders register low sales during the back-to-school season. It's a very strange. Now, the first 3 days of February 2025 saw parents across Uganda gearing up to return their children to school, of course, following the academic calendar issued by the Ministry of Education and Sports. Now, in the Kampala metropolitan area, the back-to-school season was actually marked by heavy traffic congestion and noticeable commotion, particularly in downtown areas as parents and students rushed to get ready for the new school term. Now, given the surge in activity, one would expect strong sales for traders, especially those dealing in scholastic materials and other back-to-school items. However, the traders around Kampala, particularly in Nakawa, Kalere, and downtown, have reported unexpectedly low sales during this period. Now, of course, some of them say they attribute these to the poor sales to the prevailing economic challenges. You know, this is what some of them have to say. They say that there has been a low turn of customers buying back-to-school items, which means low sales for the last 3 days, primarily due to the bad economic situation in the country. Of course, this is what some say. Another one actually said who sells the general merchandise in one of the markets echoed similar concerns, where she mentioned her sales were significantly lower than actually expected. You know, some of the traders in Kalere market cited low sales, suggesting that the delay is in some students, the delay in some students returning to school contributed to the reduced demand, because the parents are not equipped with the school fees at that particular point immediately. However, not all traders are facing the same challenges. Some in downtown Kampala reported better sales. Perhaps now we can attribute the sales according to the location you are and what exactly are you dealing in. To what degree of relevancy? Does it have a high degree of being self-student? All those aspects need to be also looked into and taken into absolute consideration. Now, overall, while the back-to-school season typically boosts sales for traders, that is dealing in scholastic materials, the effects of the current economic environment are clearly being felt by some traders struggling to meet expectations. Now, the low pace of sales highlights the ongoing challenges that businesses face amid the financial constraints. That is what we see as it is happening in there. Okay. And maybe as we wind this out, let's take a look at the 9 finance ministry officials that were arrested over 60 billion Ugandan shillings. That it was regarding the Bank of Uganda heist. Now, 9 officials from the Uganda Ministry of Finance were arrested following the rigorous interrogation by the Criminal Investigation Department at its headquarters in Chivuli, Kampala. Now, the sources privy to the investigators have told the press that these officials have knowledge regarding the mysterious disappearance of the 60 billion Ugandan shillings from the Bank of Uganda last year. Now, those detained include the Accountant General Lawrence Semakula, along with Paula Lumala, Jennifer Muholizi, Mubarak and Samba. We have Mark Kasuku, all those under the suspects. Now, the suspects are currently being held at the Kira and Natete police stations in Kampala as investigations intensify. Now, the saga began last year when it was discovered that the Bank of Uganda had transferred 60 billion Ugandan shillings, but the funds were deposited into incorrect accounts in Japan and United Kingdom. Now, at the tail end of November, reports surfaced that security agencies were investigating the disappearance of the billions of shillings from the central bank in what was being treated as an inside job. Now, it would take 2 weeks for the Bank of Uganda to confirm the heist, with Deputy Governor, that is Michael Atingigo, saying money meant for debt repayments to the World Bank and African Development Fund was diverted from each destinations to 2 banks in UK and Japan. However, he denied reports that the central bank's systems had been hacked, saying that the fraud had been initiated outside the Bank of Uganda. That's what he said. Now, a debt servicing a repayment of about $6.13 million to the World Bank was diverted to a roadway company in Japan and paid into an account in MUFG Bank on November 12th, while another payment was also the same. Now, on Tuesday morning this week, as word of the ongoing interrogation spread, police vehicles were seen shuttling between CID headquarters and the local police stations. Now, by mid-morning, 2 police drones were actually spotted at the CID premises, escorted by the police patch tracks heading towards, that is, Kira and Natete police stations. Now, the police spokesperson, that is Kituma Risoke, confirmed the arrests, noting that the investigation is still ongoing. That's what he said. This is what he said, that we have 9 persons in custody as part of our investigation into the missing funds. More details follow as the inquiry progresses, Risoke said. Now, the scandal has not only raised concerns over internal controls within the Ministry of Finance, but also prompted calls for greater accountability in handling public funds. Now, as of now, the police and the Ministry of Finance have refrained from making an official statement on the matter. So let us see how it entails and how it will be resolved in the long term and what it means for Uganda. Well, thanks for being a part of today's edition of Smart Means Business. Allow me to wish you a very wonderful day. Till next time, a very good morning.